Probably one of the most controversial releases in virtual reality, and sometimes it is good to have these types of releases just due to the fact that virtual reality is way under the radar still up until this day. One of the bigger AAA games, Asgard's Wrath, has now announced that they're going to be doing that Quest 3 update, because when it released, it was only technically quote unquote for the Quest 2, and people were pissed off. There was 10 out of 10 reviews, and then there's 1 out of 10 reviews, and then everybody else. I never seen really so much arguing on a game when it comes to virtual reality, probably at all, especially with this type of release, because we all know that everyone gripes about virtual reality going mainstream. Virtual reality needs to do this in order to get on the map. This game, when we had like Ghostbusters, everybody was like, oh, this game's gonna help virtual reality get on the map. When Resident Evil 4 has been released twice on different VR platforms, recently on PSVR 2 and the OG being on Quest, they were like, oh, this is gonna help mainstream. The new Battle Royale, Contractor Showdown, we're all hoping this can help build credibility in mainstream VR. Then you have like Population 1, which was technically quote unquote Fortnite in VR. Moral story, we have Ghost of Tsushima now winning VR Game of the Year, and possibly with some of the best marketing, and still hasn't really mainstream to the general audience in which VR, what we're hoping for. Again, and then Assassin's Creed, right? And then in recent times was Assassin's Creed. So all these games that I'm naming, the moral of the story being that this game had the most controversy when it released, and I have yet to tap into this game. I'm going to tap in whenever they release the Quest 3 notes so I can give y'all full-on transparency review on that, so make sure you subscribe in case of that. But Asgard's Wrath 2, it's starting to heat up, I would say, in my opinion. After naming all those games, none of those games have yet to mainstream VR. This had probably been one of the most talked about games that I had seen in a while. But again, I haven't tapped into it yet. But I hear a lot of people just going back and forth, even creators and audiences, and people are saying it's boring. Some people are saying it's the best ever. Like, it's so damn mixed that I can't wait to jump on it on my own when the Quest 3 update does get here, so I can really break some shit down, because I know VR always being gimmicky, VR always overrating, and I get it. VR creators need to get paid. Everybody needs to. All the hype is coming down right now. I get it, man. I'm not hating on any of that. But again, it's bad for VR. It's a bad look, and we're just gonna constantly let like a paycheck dictate some of these aspects. So I can't wait to really tap into it and let y'all know my inside thoughts. So this major update that's coming around, that Asgard's Wrath 2 originally released for a Quest 2, and okay, people are pissed. So now this update has that it's gonna be the patch 1 releasing later this week. We'll add 2 toggle settings for Quest 3 players as a first step in addressing this to help people not be pissed off at everybody. The first toggle is 90 Hz refresh rate, and the second toggle is called enhanced rendering features. Both toggles can be used together simultaneously. This isn't a case of performance versus quality mode. So the good thing is you can tap in to both of these. When it did launch, the studios aspect Oculus Studios, which is crazy, they still use the name Oculus. I thought it was Meta across the board, but it's still called Oculus Casting. There's Oculus Studios. The Oculus app was still there for a long time, so I don't know what the hell they're doing now. That's VR in a nutshell. I don't think anybody really knows at times. And then the 90 Hertz, it says on Quest 3 at launch, except in rare intense moments, it'll go down to 72 Hertz. So they have noticed the game running at a constant 72 Hertz, people, and are griping about that and getting pissed off and really letting people know all over Twitter, like, yo, this is bullshit. This is not the game that we really paid for. Again, I got it for free because I got my Quest 3 for way too much damn money, I would say right now. And it comes with free. That's kind of their selling point right now. You get Asgard's Wrath for free. Or I don't know if they're still doing that bundle across the holidays, but you can check that out. It says the games has additional enhancement options in mind for Asgard's Wrath 2 on Quest 3, but it will take time to validate their feasibility. So I don't know what the hell that means in terms of this update, but and the work on it won't begin until the new year, so that'll be for the additional stuff. The first things that we're getting, of course, from this level of detail is going to be the enhanced rendering features, and you're also going to get a 90 Hertz that you can use for both. These updates are correlated to what I'm gonna have to say this right here. I think they only did this just because they got so much backlash for it. I feel that they are still rushing this, and so I want to check out like what the hell is going on. At the end of the day, nobody knows the story of this and what's going on. Like what I said, it was very controversial, And this has always gone back to what I talked about also. When I talk about virtual reality all the time, I already said, get yourself a Quest 2 because developers are doing this right now. And it's a lot lazier than what the next generation consoles have done for us. Like, so Xbox, and obviously the Series S right now is the current gen, and then the one before was 1S. When they do like backwards compatible games, it takes a while to kind of kick in, right? And so with virtual reality, if they have any types of way to, I guess, kind of save money due to devs being really indie devs for the most part at times and things just going down, I just knew that there wasn't going to be games optimized as fast enough as they were pushing the Quest 3. And again, VR falls into this, just pushing too much damn product and never going in depth. And I was completely correct about this. I say this in every other video that VR tends to be gimmicky instead of going all in with what they do have. Instead of promoting the Quest 3 and showing like Asgard's Rad, giving it free and just being this backwards compatible game that wasn't even going to have Quest 3 updates, which mostly a lot of games don't even have these Quest 3 updates anyway, the rendering features and everything. You're technically just getting a Quest 2 right now on steroids until like everything eventually catches up to where Quest 3 is the standard and they just stop Quest 2 in totality, kind of how they did with Quest 1 and Quest 2. Again, Asgard's Wrath really fell bad under that notion due to them offering a game on a Quest 3, but it was completely a Quest 2 version. They got so much backlash and people were hating on them so much. And I knew this was the quote unquote game that was supposed to probably put VR on the map, which everybody says. And it's this game just went a split decision in totality. The fact that they released as just a Quest 2 version being free with a Quest 3, I'm sure people were assuming I want Quest 3 graphics, in which everybody's going to want Quest 3 graphics. We pay too much damn money. Like, we don't want to just look at a Quest 2 all day. We could have just bought a Quest 2. And that I kind of fall into that too, where I'm just like, yo, that's kind of lazy. And I think overall they kind of just couldn't deal with that pressure. And I think maybe in the back of their mind, they had it releasing later, like a massive, because it says here they have another update later. It says for additional to validate their feasibility. Like, so they say the first patch that I mentioned earlier, the 90 hertz, the enhanced rendered features, and then also their what was the other one? The optional settings. It was enhanced rendering features and then a 90 hertz refresh rate. That's patch 1. I'm sure that they were probably somewhat gonna do that at the time they were actually gonna release their second one. So it says there's gonna be additional enhancement options, but it'll be time like later until the new year. So they have 2 updates coming around, patch 1 and patch 2. We'll call it patch 1 and patch 2. Patch 1 being this update that we're gonna get later this week, which I'm pretty sure is happening because a lot of people are pissed off. They probably rushed it and just pulled it from patch 2 because they didn't expect to get this much of backlash. But when you're this much of a AAA game, you need to be releasing as a AAA game, not trying to be lazy about it. If it was just any other type of title, maybe you can get away with just releasing a Quest 2 version on a Quest 3. Because I'm playing a lot of Quest 2 games still right now, technically, quote unquote, on my Quest 3 anyway. That's why I'm always like, well, if you find sales on a Quest 2, just get yourself a Quest 2 for now. There's not really much on a Quest 3 that you would find massively different. And this is coming from a person that loves VR, you know what I mean? So I think that they just kind of rushed this. So I'm excited to kind of see, and I'm really curious to see so I can break down, I can jump into this game. They said it's too damn long. I'm not trying to beat this game. I just want to try to get in as much info as I can and be as completely transparent and honest. I'm sure the scenery is going to look amazing. I'm sure everything's going to look great. But the fact that they did release as a 2, trying to bundle it with a 3 and try to claim that they're Quest 3, and I don't know what the hell was going on. I never even dove in fully to this story. I just read off what everybody's getting pissed off at. At the end of the day, it was a Quest 2 game that was running on a Quest 3, and it was crazy, man. Again, all the drama was wild, so I was just excited to really see, or at least they got an update. And so we will review the Quest 3 version when it does come out later this week. But y'all got to be letting me know what's up. Have y'all checked this out? What does VR need to be doing? And since with Quest 3, like, should every game be looking at getting a Quest 3 version soon? I don't know, man. Let me know what's up. I appreciate y'all. Peace.